Good afternoon. My name is Daryl Robbins, and I will be doing my classroom critiques on Stapleton and Laveto Davidson, and then also myself at the end. As for Stapleton, I do believe that she actually did a great story, and where the whole entire thing was laid out perfectly, especially where the ending came back and connected to the very beginning, where you said that the little part of the spiel of the acting actually connected with your life. I do believe it was greatly performed with a minimal amount of hand movements, and along with the hand movements, you had great facial features. The only thing that I think that might have made it a little bit easier for people to connect with your story was to take like 2 or 3 steps back, where your face would actually be lit up more with the lights that was above your head than instead of more in the shadows as it was. Other than that, the only other thing that I can see that might make it better is have a little bit better ending instead of where it just cuts off at the end of the sentence and then they're just done. But overall, it was a great historical past where you used your previous experiences of drama class and also acting that you did afterwards to put it into this little speech. And it actually definitely shows with the way that you performed and the way you spoke about everything that happened to you. Now, as for Laveto Davidson, you did a great job, and it looks like that you just read the story, your eyes moving back and forth like you're reading something. And then after that, it didn't really last 3 to 5 minutes, but overall you had great facial expressions, and your hand movements actually emphasized the main points of what you're trying to get across. Your clear and precise speaking definitely shows, and the way that you take your time to say what you're supposed to make it sound better and everybody can understand it is well done, and I congratulate you on that. The only thing that I could see is, one, if you would have remembered or studied what it is that you're trying to put across instead of just reading it line for line, it would have came out better, and then throwing a little bit of your twist into it, which you did do for the most part with your facial expressions and your hand, especially with the fist pump, which I love, I'm not going to lie, it was great. But if the way you did everything, the way you told the story, the way you actually said it out loud, you were clear, concise with everything that you said, it's just you were reading a story. It wasn't past history, or if it was very important to you, it doesn't really explain how it was connected to it, which if you were to go back and add into where that's important to your life for some reason, it would have been perfect. I, for one, am a huge fan of that story. I've read it multiple times, and I do love it. Now, as for myself, I do believe that I could have done better on my personal speech by using less filler words, less blanks in between the sentences, as just to try and hit that time crunch, which I know I didn't really hit it. I used the pause at the end to just go over the 3 minutes, which I could have filled up with something better. And something I could have done better was, instead of criticizing myself during the speech, just went with the story and did the whole entire thing and then finished with it. I know it could have been a lot better than what it was. For instance, my hand movements, wasn't really giving exact, precise, like, hey, this is very important because of this type deal, but I did have minor hand movements, and then my facial expressions wasn't really up to par, which I could have been more expressive with everything I was trying to say, but it didn't really happen in that story. I went back and watched it, and I did kind of sound monotone, but it happens, I guess. It's a little difficult to come back and read it and realize how much I could have done better after the part that I already put it down and saved it. But now I know what I can do to make myself better for the next time I do a video. And I do hope to get criticism from everybody else that decides to watch my video, so that way I can make myself better when I give a speech and use it for later instances inside the story. I want to thank you for your time, and have a great day.